DM's podcast. Welcome back. This is episode 2. How are you feeling, Kyle?
Very surprised that we got past episode 1. I almost punched the computer while in post-processing for the first episode, so hopefully it doesn't go as bad this next time.
That's a lot of fun. We love that.
Jaden, no we don't. I hated it. You didn't see the amount of stress on me to get it out in a single day.
Overcoming the trials of post-production is one of the most fulfilling parts of content creation.
Jaden, you're not even doing the trial of post-processing.
Well, do you want me to do it?
No, I actually quite enjoy it, so.
That's what I thought.
Well,
I was like, I'll do it if you want me to. I enjoy it as well.
That's fine. Hopefully, I showed up on the mic.
That was the point.
Hopefully you know our names by now, but just in case, I'm Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
You are not Kyle.
Fine, you caught me.
Haha.
I'm not Kyle.
Imposter.
I'm bogus.
Bogus.
Anyway, I'm Jaden. This is Kyle, and we are two really stupid DMs.
No, we're two really dumb DMs.
Same
There's a
thing.
difference. No, stupid and dumb are different. I don't know how, but I know they are. Alright, so for the news in the D&D world, and this time it's not the only news, because lots of stuff is happening. Please don't tell me you're looking at more news. Oh, you're looking at the definition of dumb and stupid.
The term stupid usually refers to someone who is lacking intelligence or common sense.
Well, that's not us.
The term dumb was originally used to refer to someone who lacked the power of speech.
Well, we're not stupid because we have a little bit of common sense.
That would be the lamest podcast ever. Just two hosts.
Hold on, we gotta just hold on. We gotta reenact this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. This is the actual Two Dumb DMs podcast. Thank you for joining us in that moment
such
of
a dumb bit.
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so in the D&D world, it's the same stuff as last week because D&D is busy. So they still have Wild Beyond the Witchlight, planning on coming out on the 21st of September. Like we said last time, it's a source book, campaign book that's basically... Whoa. Basically? Mainly based around the Feywild and adventures inside of that.
That's pretty cool.
So that one's I'm actually kind of looking forward to, because it'll be fun to torture your players with evil pixies. Do you want to read the next one?
Nah, you can do it.
Oh, okay. So the next thing that they have, and they don't have a release date for this yet, is Strixhaven, a Curriculum of Chaos. So, like we said last week again, this is essentially just Harry Potter.
Move on.
Taking
way too long with this.
What if somebody's starting on this episode?
Speed it up.
What if somebody's starting on this episode?
Google.
Alright. Well, Strixhaven's cool. You should go check it out because Jaden won't let me talk about it. And then the last thing that they've announced is Fizban's Treasury of Dragons.
Lots of dragons.
Yeah, Volo's Guide for Dragons, if you know what Volo's Guide is. So, yay! That's D&D stuff.
My bad.
My gosh. I was about to say new D&D stuff, but that's the same stuff as last week, so.
Yeah.
Should we get on to the first?
Let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this episode.
So this is a little bit of a special one. If you actually listen to the last one, you notice how there were 2 different segments. This one we've got just really one big segment. So.
It's all about character. And we're back!
Sports Central.
No, this is the Two Dumb DMs podcast.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
Idiot.
Well, I said Sports Central. It's Sports Center. Okay, so, we've got character creation tips. This is a fun thing.
Not only for character creation, but also for background writing.
That's true, yes. So, well, that is part of character creation.
Yeah. But sometimes I feel like people think they're very separate things.
Yeah. So, not only can players use this to create their own characters, but DMs can use it to create NPCs. Especially the background part.
NPCs are fun.
NPCs are fun because
they let you live out all your cool character ideas without actually worrying about if any of them are going to die or not.
That's true. So, what's our first tip for character creation? I know. So the first thing that you should do before making a character is understand what you're trying to go for, not just on the player's handbook, but also in your mind. So having like a vivid image of what you want your character to be is very important because it helps you build around it.
I think most people learn that very quickly. They try to make their first character, and they start off by just sitting down with a blank character sheet in front of them, and they go, now, where the heck do I start?
Yeah, that's true. So make sure you have an idea, whether it be something super stereotypical like a dwarf barbarian or like an elf wizard. Make sure you know what you're gonna do before you do it. It'll make character creation a lot smoother and a lot faster. Now, on top of that, you have to understand like what is written in the player's handbook. You can't. It's kind of hard to make a character if you don't know what you're reading. So like understand where things on the player's handbook go in relation to your character sheet. So like where skills go and where saving throws go and where features and traits go, because it'll make filling it in a lot faster.
And most character sheets are pretty well outlined for that stuff.
Yeah.
Just use your eyeballs.
Eyeballs. What else do we have?
Well, kind of going along with that, with like coming up with an idea, I always feel like making a character you can like sort of relate to is way more fun.
Especially for role-playing purposes.
Yeah, like, if you make a character that's like super duper like introverted and never talks to anybody, but you're the opposite in real life and you're like the ultimate social butterfly, it's gonna be like so hard to role play that and to make the character feel convincing and like real and stuff.
Though some people do like that challenge or like to explore like different parts of themselves.
For sure. If that's something you want to go for it by all means. But take that into account when you're like building a character and designing the background and stuff.
Yeah. So put like a little essence of yourself into the character. It especially makes roleplay really like a lot easier because like you understand where this character is coming from and what it would do in these certain circumstances because you've done that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean,
but hey,
but not like physical. Don't make it like you and physical.
Go for like
because that'd be weird.
Really strange combinations too. If you feel
those are fun.
Because there's the common stuff all the time where you have like a halfling rogue or like Kyle said, an elf wizard or whatever, and those are common and expected, and they can be a lot of fun. But if you want something that's gonna throw people for a loop, maybe try like what?
Furbolg Warlock. That's
Furbolg Warlock would be kind of cool. Perhaps
you don't even know what a Furbolg is.
I do know what a Furbolg is. Maybe like a dark elf cleric.
I like that. But that
a dark elf
sense.
Light cleric.
That wouldn't make sense. Anytime it casts a spell, it just gets blinded for a few minutes.
Exactly. That makes no sense. And give your characters flaws.
Yeah.
Just bouncing straight off of that. Give them flaws.
If your character is like this perfect, idealistic sort of thing, no one's going to want to play with you because it's boring. And you're going to get tired of playing that character because nothing ever goes wrong with you.
Yeah. Which can be a lot of fun and if you're playing the kind of story that would call for something like that. But lots more of the time, it's just fun to screw around.
Yeah. I mean...
So having a character that every once in a while just blinds themselves is kind of fun. That's why Wild Magic Sorcerers are
Wild Magic Sorcerers are fun.
They're not necessarily the best sorcerer subclass.
They're not.
But they're a lot of fun to play because you just roll and then you're like, oh, well, now I'm shorter. Yep. Or now I'm blue.
Or now
all of my party is dead because I killed them.
Because I cast Fireball centered on myself.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, if you're playing a spellcaster, know what your spells do.
Oh, please.
Because, like, when you're in combat and you're frantically flipping through the player's handbook trying to figure out what this one random spell that you wrote down at one point in time does.
You can get spell cards or make spell cards.
Or you can even just write them on the back of your spell sheet.
That too, but even, just maybe you're playing like 4 different spellcasters.
Yeah.
For different campaigns. And then it's way easier to just have a deck of cards, like index cards or something.
Yeah.
Or even to just keep them separate with the character and then be like, yeah, well, this does that. And then you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's way less obnoxious to flip through a deck of cards than it is to flip
It's
through
just flip
80
through-
pages of the player's
The
handbook.
player's handbook is more than 80 pages, but
Well, I'm talking just the spell section is about 80 pages.
I think it's honestly more. But please
Should I
don't
count?
fact check me on that. What? Why, Jaden?
You might be right here. I was
I
just
don't know, because
guessing.
there's a lot of them.
It's hundreds of spells. Let's see.
That's
we-
just the
Do
spells.
we count this page?
Yes.
1. Okay, so
Don't
this
count
is
them. Don't count them
207.
one by one, please.
1, 2,
Maybe there is only about
3,
80.
4, 289. So, like 80. 287 to 289.
That's like 100. Are you?
No,
Why are you?
207.
Oh, okay.
289.
I think you said like okay. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
only 80 pages. I was right.
Sorry.
I'm better than you, Kyle. Now everybody knows it.
Who was the one that got confused in calc today? Not
You.
me. Well, so did you.
Kyle, we both did. And then we got confused in chemistry too.
We didn't get confused in chemistry. You want to know what we did in chemistry?
Played devil's advocate.
You played devil's advocate.
That was fun. Maybe
That
I'll
was
do
just
that.
you.
I'll make Hardy think I'm a stupid idiot.
Hardy's gonna give us some weird looks this year. I can already feel him
Surprised he
coming.
hasn't already. Anyway, moving on.
So
that part.
what else what else is helpful with character creation?
See, having an idea.
Ooh, knowing your DM's ideas. So like building it kind of towards a
fit their
campaign,
campaign.
or like one of the
like their play style.
Yeah, one of the most obvious is they have like 3 different types where you can choose the ability scores. They have point buy, and then they have standard array, and they have rolling. Every single DM likes to use a different one, so always ask them before you make.
They might even like come up with their own special caveat for some of those.
Yeah.
Like I know some DMs like to use standard array, but they buff some of those numbers.
Yeah. And then also along with like ask your DM if there's any races that he won't allow because it's super overpowered,
or doesn't fit the campaign.
Or it doesn't fit the campaign. Like in that world, there are absolutely no elves, so it wouldn't make sense for you to be able to play an elf.
And work with your DM if you like really, really, really want to play an elf.
Then convince him some way.
Then you might be able to convince them.
DMs, don't be super strict about your storylines because they will change. Always. For sure.
And be open to that change because it can be a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, the world of no elves becomes this world where
there's a single elf. Every like 3 years.
Ooh, that or elves are
sequence.
like a secret race that nobody knows about, and then they're trying to take over the world.
Or maybe the reason they all were dead was because like there was like an elf holocaust.
Yeah, something like that.
And like he was like this lone survivor.
Somehow he managed to.
Yeah. So yeah, work with your DM and then making characters a lot smoother. So now what do we have on like making backstories?
I want to actually have one more thing about stats first.
More stuff about stats.
The player's handbook will give you a suggested way to build a character for whatever class you're playing.
Yeah.
And typically it'll say, like, if you're building a monk, for example, it's like, first, your highest stat should be dexterity, and then wisdom, followed by, like, constitution or something.
Yeah.
But you definitely don't have to follow that, in case you haven't realized that already.
There's a lot of people that do something called min-maxing, where they, like, make the most optimized character ever, and then they just obliterate in every single combat and or social encounter.
And again, that can be very fun if it's like the right campaign.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a fun character to play.
But then other times it's more fun to play like the most suboptimal character ever. I have a character that has died 3 times, right?
3 or 4 times.
I think it's been 3. All from wolves. Like one of the simplest monsters in the game.
1/4.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm playing something with like I don't even remember what his stats are. All I know is all of his physical stats are literal trash.
A sorcerer with like a +1 to charisma?
Yeah. See, I made this a super suboptimal character. This is not a character like that you should use if your DM's like Doom style.
Yeah.
We're gonna run through a bunch of places, but like it's fun to play as this because it creates different encounters. Like it has turned up in like I have to make a dark pact with something so I don't die in literally the first session.
That's your fault. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the thing with stats is like min maxing works if it's gonna be like a really challenging campaign.
But
Like if your DM likes to throw dragons at you at 4th level, then yeah, by all means go ahead and min max.
And then they still.
And you'll still have
wipe it out.
ways to have fun for sure.
Yeah, some players even enjoy like just doing it where it's like this super intense encounter and they just take it out in 2 turns.
Yeah.
And that's like gratifying to them for some reason.
It depends on your playstyle.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just
But
have fun with it.
Don't be afraid to play something that
character.
doesn't make a lot of sense. Not only in just like picking and choosing stats, but also in like picking a race and a class that don't go together.
So one of the things that's like really fun to do is play like a bard that's antisocial.
Oh yeah.
So all of their magic comes from their charisma, but they don't have any charisma. So their magic is kind of sucky.
Yeah. Or they just like are really bad with people, so they try and perform, and they feel like they themselves have like this like beautiful self image. Like I did so good, and everyone's like throwing Rotten Tomatoes at them.
Yeah. That's kind of fun too. Can you go either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, backstories. Tips you want to talk about?
Well, yeah. Again, this kind of goes along with what we were saying with character creation. Understand where you want your player to come or character to come from. You can't write a backstory or anything without like a base idea. It's really hard to just have like this like super simple character sitting in front of you and be like, okay, what's his backstory? Besides, he became this, he lived like this is his background. The end.
Yeah.
Creating backstories is something that you should enjoy doing. It's like creating this own little story for you to
exactly. It's
act
like
out.
Writing a biography for this character that you can just make up whatever the heck you want.
And it doesn't only help you, but it also helps the DM because he can use whatever backstory you write to implement it into the campaign and create a more fun and interactive storyline.
Yeah. And a good place to start with those is in source books like the player's handbook.
Yeah.
It'll say like, oh, you're playing a wizard that probably attended an institution of some kind in order to learn magic, or maybe a barbarian that's probably a part of some horde somewhere, or this group of people that live away from society. That's like a place to start. You don't have to follow that.
And then you can use that to...
But if you can't come up with any other ideas, that's where you start.
Yeah.
And it makes your race and class make way more sense.
Something that's also really fun to do is like asking the DM for really like iconic settings from his world and being like, yeah, my character originates from this, and then like asking for like historic events that happened and say like
oh yeah, my character was involved in that.
Either my character or like my ancestors were involved with that, so now I carry around that legacy and everyone expects me to do be this great thing.
Like my great grandfather was why can't I think of his name? King
oh shoot.
One with Excalibur. That's what I'm thinking of.
Arthur?
Yeah, King Arthur. I don't know. I was thinking King Alex for some reason.
I was about to say King Ballin, but I'm like, that's not what you're going for.
King Ballin is my original creation. Anyway, it's like, yeah, my grandfather was King Arthur, but I never wielded a sword in my entire life.
Yeah.
So...
You can even play...
kind of the disappointment of the family.
You can even be, like, super edgelord and just go with, like, this, my family is dead. Actually... Stay away from that.
It's fun.
Now that I think about it, it is fun.
It can be a lot of fun
because then your character can get away with a lot of crap, and everybody's just like, "Oh, it's because he had a hard life." But like,
don't lean into it too hard. It's very overdone.
And
you have to do it in the right way.
Yeah, you can't.
I feel like one of the best things to do with that is have some like serious character growth.
Yeah.
Where they go from this they keep to themselves and they don't trust anybody, whatever. And then by the end of the campaign, They're like
grown to something.
They like love their party and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, your backstory should not be something that can't change, right? I mean, like a lot of us have this like idealistic image of our characters, and we're like, this is how it has to stay, and this is how it's going to stay forever and always. And then something happens in the campaign that does not have any that like doesn't relate to that at all, but your character has like this massive role in it, and you're like, how am I supposed to fit this into my backstory? You can switch things around. Like
Exactly.
it's not set in stone.
And the background section from like the player's handbook, which gives you stuff, different features and traits for your character. Also, those aren't set in stone either.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe the player's handbook actually encourages
It
you
expressly
to
says
mix and match.
Mix it up. Like that's one big deal I have with the 5e player's handbook that I really hope if they are planning on making a 6e that they fix it is that they wanted people to take these backgrounds and just change them up. But by making
really
making so many of them, people don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
So they don't get like this super interactive thing where like they can pick like equipment from folk hero and then the personality traits of an outlander and then the feature of a sailor. Like these backgrounds are not supposed to be just what someone else tells you to do. It's supposed to be what you want to do and what you're the one making your character. It's not someone else writing the story for you.
Yeah. And I mean, depending on your DM, you might be able to like have a little bit more freedom with that. And instead of only taking like the one feature from each thing, you maybe can make up your own, or maybe even have like more than one.
Yeah.
Depending on if it makes sense for your character and the campaign and whatever. And you can work that out.
Yeah. Something like with writing the backstory, something that's kind of fun to input into the backstory is like using what you chose as your backgrounds. Like Hermit, you've lived in the wilds for forever, and it created this massive discovery. But what happened in your history that made you decide to become a wizard?
Yeah.
Like what made you realize you had the power to turn your knowledge into magic? So like making these things that tie in your race and your backstory and like your backstory and then your class all into this one big character is a lot more fun to play.
Yeah, like why on earth would a half orc want to become a wizard?
I don't know. You can write that yourself.
You can make it up. Look at that.
See, backstories can be whatever the heck you want them to be. It's not something that, like I was saying earlier, it's not something that someone else decides for you, and it's not always something that like has to be chosen from the start.
Yeah.
It's whatever you make it. So your backstory gets edited a little bit as you play. There's nothing wrong with that. Or your character changes from what the backstory was as you go along because it makes more sense for your character to grow this way.
Yeah. The backstory never really stops.
Yeah. The entire campaign is his backstory.
Exactly.
Because it's his life story.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for it to just be like have more stuff added on to it.
Just more
right?
chapters of the biography.
Yeah. Oh, another thing is the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws section. I never fill that out.
Me neither.
So, a lot of all of the backgrounds in the player's handbook have like these tables that you can roll on to choose, or you can pick and choose from them. Like this is what my personality trait is because I was an outlander.
Even like, I don't even have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Like that's what I'm saying.
Maybe
if those
you
don't make sense,
are
don't
an
do it.
outlander that just like loves being around people, but you were dropped in the desert as a child, and you're only just now making it back to civilization and discovering that you love to be around people.
So personality traits and all of those things on the right side of the character sheet don't need to be what someone else wrote.
Yeah, feel free to fill them in, of course. I personally don't.
I don't fill them in just because I like to have my characters be dynamic.
Yeah, I like to have a little more freedom with them and not have to like fit everything into a small box.
But it is important to like realize that your character still has these things. So like what we were saying, you want to have this image of your character so you can understand what they would do in this. That's what those are to help with, especially the ideals and bonds.
Of course.
Because like your bond would say I am attached to this character in my party, and my ideal says I have to protect people. So I'm going to protect this person
And
at the
that
extent of my life.
It goes along with alignment.
That's true. Oh, we talked about this in the last episode.
Alignment
too.
is a lot of fun.
But it's also malleable. Like,
Yes.
very malleable. It doesn't stay as one. Like a
Like
very
we said
good
in
example.
the-
Lawful good paladin can make a chaotic decision. Right?
In the heat of the moment, it's possible.
Or like
Or a chaotic evil
demon
tiefling can choose to save the baby from a burning building.
Yeah. I mean, like the alignment isn't something that you're like, oh shoot, well my character is neutral, so I can't do anything that goes onto one of these sides. I have to stay neutral the entire game.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to name a single person that you know that has stayed literally the same for the past few years.
Data.
Who?
Data from Star Trek.
Well, okay, that's different. I'm saying like a legit person, someone that you know. It's like very hard and possibly even impossible to think of. Humans.
I'm willing to say like maybe older folks because they're a little bit.
Yeah, that's
they tend
true.
to be more stuck in their ways.
But like, who's gonna play an 80-year-old?
Will.
Respectively, Will would, and then he would min max it like crazy.
So 2.0, baby.
So the alignment doesn't. I hate alignments. They're stupid.
I love alignment.
I hate
if
it.
it's used correctly. I think it's a very great thing.
Yeah, I think it gives you something to build around.
I think write it down, and it'll help you roleplay the character, but don't get stuck with it.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, most of the time, my character tends to be a chaotic good character. They like to do crazy stuff, but, they're goodly aligned. But, sometimes they'll chill out.
And actually follow the law.
Be a little more lawful, or sometimes they'll do something bad, or...
Yeah. With this, we also have to bring up, like, with monsters and NPCs. With NPCs, like, normal, everyday, like, commoners, it makes sense to be able to have their alignments change. But, like, this is especially for DMs. If you're role-playing a demon, demons... Shoot. No, it's a devil. Devils are all lawful evil because they have to, like, physically have to abide by the laws.
That's how it works.
So you can't have a demon... We've been saying, like, alignments can change and da-da-da, but for a lot of the monsters, they can't, which is really weird.
Well, maybe not a lot of the monsters, but certainly there are some.
There are some that are, like, bound by law.
And you can
bound by chaos.
Work around those restrictions.
Yeah.
For example, an ent is a chaotic good creature.
Yeah.
But if they believe that their forest is being threatened, they're still gonna retaliate. And so maybe the bad guy is like convinced them that the good guys are trying to burn down the forest or something.
Yeah.
Then they're acting to your perspective, maybe an evil way, but they're still a chaotic good creature.
Alignment is very up to perspective.
Exactly.
So, yeah, alignment changes like crazy. It's not something you should use it, but only use it well. Don't use it incorrectly.
Like I said, write it down and use it as a basis, fundamental thing, but don't get don't put too much stock in it.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that important in the end.
It's true. Except for like the documentary things, which inverts it. Which that would be really hard to do now that I think about it.
Yep.
I feel like that, instead of like changing alignment, should change their personality trait.
Probably.
So like having a super antisocial person become a very like
social,
outgoing person.
Is that all the tips we have?
Huh?
Is that everything?
I think so. Should we get to making a character?
Alright, let's get to building a character.
Alright, let's do this. So should we make a suboptimal or a min-maxed one?
Let's find out.
While
we go on the journey.
Okay, well, let's look up, like, every single race that D&D has ever come up with. There's a lot of them.
There are many. I kind of want to make a centaur, actually.
Centaurs are fun, actually, because you have the ability to just be a horseman.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a centaur would be fun. I don't know.
Ooh, but changelings are fun to do, too. Oh my gosh, I know what we should do.
What?
Okay, everybody needs to go look up an image of a grung. Grung.
Oh no.
They're frog people, and they're beautiful.
No.
But grung. Oh, what if we did a kenku? Because kenku can't technically talk.
That's true. They can't. Ooh, that's kind of a fun thing. We could do a lizard folk.
Yeah, lizard folk are fun. Shifters are interesting.
Or a loxodon. That could kind of be fun too.
Ooh, loxodons are cool.
Actually, I love the idea of a simic hybrid as well.
Ooh, simic hybrids are awesome. Do we want to do a simic?
Sure.
Okay.
That is Ravnica.
Well, what level do we want to do? I have it right here.
Shall I roll the d20?
Yeah, roll the d20 to decide a level.
15.
Ooh, that's high. Is there anything? I don't know if there will be anything in here. Okay, so write it down here, and then we'll copy this over, and we'll post it on our stuff. So,
I've got Ravnica pulled up right here.
okay, so simic hybrids. So they get a +2 to Constitution, and then we get to choose one from Strength, Dex, Con, Int, or Wisdom and Charisma. Which one?
Should we think about class first?
No.
You want to do this first?
Yeah, I like doing this first, because then you don't
Okay, so we can choose one other thing to go up.
Yo, we could get a Con plus...
We do not need a plus 3.
Con +3.
We do not need a plus 3 to con. You know what? Maybe we could do like a really smart one.
Intelligence or wisdom smart?
Ooh, good point. Let's make a gymnast one.
Ooh!
A gymnast. So
okay,
give
that'd
the
be
plus 1 to
Dex.
Dex.
Yeah. Okay, so +2 to Constitution, +1 to Dex. Size is medium, speed is 30 feet.
Speed is 30?
Yeah. Hybrids, or simic hybrids, begin their life as adult humans, elves, or Vedalkins. So they're just humans. Huh. Interesting. I actually haven't looked at these. So apparently they have something called a guarding project. Okay, do you have it pulled up?
I can get to it, yes.
Okay.
Let me find simic hybrid.
Alright,
Those
and
are
then...
the classes.
Here's another thing with a player's handbook that's weird. They give you, for races, they give you an alignment that they typically share. Don't read those ever. Be whatever the heck you want. If you want to be, like, if you have a race that's super law-abiding and very good-natured, you can make a chaotic neutral character. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Okay, they got dark vision.
Ooh, cool. What? How many feet?
30.
30?
No,
60?
60.
Okay. Okay, you do that. I'll read up a little bit on
They
the lore.
speak, read, and write common and your choice of Elvish or Vedalken.
Whoa. Vedalken. Vedalken's fun.
So they've got common?
Yeah. Whoa, that's interesting.
Vedalken.
Oh! Okay, so what simic hybrids are is they technically, like, they start as humans or, like, elves, and then they focus on binding two different life forms together. So, like, the image that they have in Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica is of a human with,
I think that's an elf. They got pointing ears.
or yeah, with an elf with, like, crab-like arms. So they have, like, adaptations and add-ons that come from different creatures.
Yeah, extensive adaptations.
That's kind of interesting. That's cool.
Okay, they've got animal enhancement.
Enhancement. So your body has been altered to incorporate certain animal characteristics. It goes into
You
the
choose
lore.
one animal enhancement now and a second enhancement at 5th level.
So we get to choose two.
Ooh, okay, so at first level, choose one of the following options. Manta Glide, Nimble Climber, or Underwater Adaptation.
Okay, well, we're trying to do a gymnast, so Nimble Climber.
Nimble.
Nimber.
Nimble Climber.
Nimble. So you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed.
Ooh, that's actually really
That's
good.
actually really cool. Okay, then at 5th level, it goes even further, so you can get...
Actually, Manta Glide might make a lot of sense for gymnasts as well.
Whoa.
Ray-like fins that you can use as wings to slow your fall or allow you to glide.
Hmm.
When you fall and aren't incapacitated, you can subtract up to 100 feet from the fall when calculating falling damage, and you can move 2 feet horizontally for every 1 foot you descend.
Well, are we having like a pole vaulter kind, or like a trapezist?
Probably like a trapeze artist.
Okay, so then Manta Glide would make sense.
Yeah.
Alright, guess we're doing Manta Glide instead. And then we get to choose another one, so... We can either actually have Nimble Climber as well, or we can choose
at 5th
these.
level, we'll choose one of the... okay,
Ooh, grappling appendage,
that
because
makes
it's two extra appendages. So what do we want ours to look like?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, a monkey's arms. Monkey's arms.
Grappling.
So grappling appendage. So you have two special appendages running alongside your arms. Choose whether they're both claws or tentacles. Oh. Tentacles. Yeah. As an action, you can use one of them to try to grapple a creature. Each one is also natural weapon, which you can use to make an unarmed strike. If you hit with it, the target takes bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus your strength, instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. And then you can use that attack to grapple as a bonus action. So you can not only can we use them like for a bonus to their trapezing, but also for like giving people massive hugs.
Exactly. Big ol' huggos.
Okay, so that is the entire race part of it. Now we get to choose a class. Alright, what class do we want to do? Oh!
What would make sense?
Well, are we going to make one that makes sense?
Ooh.
What if we did Blood Hunter?
No, well, if we want to do
a trapezist?
Yeah, like
oh, we could either do Monk or Bard. Do you want to do Monk or
Bard? Or
Bard?
even Rogue,
or a Rogue,
maybe.
That's true.
I kind of like the idea of Monk, though.
Do we want to make it all one level? Or do we want a multi-class?
Oh, you can multi-class, too!
I feel like she should do, nah, let's actually, no, I've got
Rogue Monk!
We can do a Monk, and then add in the background of Entertainer. Oh, no, we can use more from Ravnica. We can do what's it called? They have a background. Is it Boros? Yeah, the Boros League. Where they're like a bunch of gymnasts that have like infernal lineage. So you're essentially a demon circus.
Does that mean our Simic hybrid is sort of a tiefling?
Oh, kind of. Well, it could start off as a tiefling and then turn into a Simic.
Tiefling and then turn off into a Simic. Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to do Monk?
Do we want a multi-class?
I feel like we should just keep it as one.
Okay.
So that'll make it a little bit simpler.
Monk.
Okay.
Alright, well, our character's already broken. It's a 15th level.
Oh! Okay, so it gets... it has 15 d8 die, or 15 d8 hit dice.
I'll calculate that later.
We
need to do
get
first.
stats. So do we want to do rolling or standard array? I refuse to do point buy because it sucks.
I'll roll.
Roll.
I'm re-rolling ones, though.
Do you have enough? No, we don't want to reroll ones.
We're keeping
this normal. Okay, let me pull up.
I like to reroll ones. I do it for all my NPCs.
Let me get out a d6.
I have one in here in the...
Do you not? But you only have 3.
No, I have one...
Let me get 3!
I have...
Falling out the backgammon dice?
Where'd it go? No, backgammon pieces look like checkers.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Jaden, I have it right here.
Where's the die?
Jaden, I have it right here. Jaden, I have it right here.
Got it.
Yay.
Okay, so to reiterate, rolling ones or no?
No.
Okay, I like to reroll ones.
I know, but this is... We want it to be kind of suboptimal.
First roll.
Okay, let's see what the first roll is.
That's
Ooh!
garbage! That's a 7.
Nice. So the first roll is 7. This is going to be great.
Roll number 2.
11.
It's an 11.
It's just going to slowly go up.
Watch me roll 18.
Ooh, oh.
I'll re-roll this one. It didn't roll on there. That is
12? I can't do math that fast. Oh, yeah, this. Ooh, that was a good roll.
There we go.
Okay, so that's 15.
This is awful.
Oh, that's not bad, actually.
14? Watch me roll.
Is this the last roll?
Watch me roll the 18 right
Is this the last roll?
Yeah.
We're going to roll like a 2. Well, one of them just hit the floor, so.
Let me roll.
Dang yeah, you rolled a 2, but...
Alright, so we got 7, 11, 12, 15, 14, 11.
Okay, so where do we want to place these? So it's a trapeze artist, so probably the highest one in Dex.
Be very high.
Should we put another higher one in Constitution because he can take hits?
Probably.
Okay, so let's put the 15 in here because then we can add the +1 from that, so it becomes 16.
16 into Dex.
And then we can put a 14
and
in the Constitution to make 16. And then what do we want to put his dump stat in? Not in strength. We actually want to put a higher one in strength.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'll throw the 12 in there.
Okay. You
After
just dump the books on the ground.
Alright, so we got a 12 in strength.
Okay.
Now we've got an 11, a 7, and an 11.
Put an 11 in charisma, because he's a little bit of a performer. Most of his performance comes from, like, his dexterity, but we need to put a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Now, which one do we want to
Now,
dump?
is he gonna
Wisdom
be
or
smart?
no? He has to be like
or
super. He has to be super oblivious to literally everything. So if like a bunch of girls come up and hit on him after a show, he's just like, no, I got it. He's super self-centered, like incredibly self-centered. So he has like a really low.
I'm gonna write that in personality traits.
Yeah. So should we put a low wisdom? What's insight? Yeah, put a low wisdom because then he has really bad insight.
Okay, so that's
So
a
put the
7, which is a -2,
Woo!
and a +0 to intelligence.
Okay. All right, now we go into monk. So he has 15 d8.
We want him to be a monk. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. So he has 15 d8 hit dice. Oh, we also get ability score improvements.
Yeah, we need to do ability score
How many?
improvements.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
3? All right, that's 6
Do we want to
points.
do any feats?
What feats are?
Let me look up the feats real quick.
Yeah, let's check out feats that are available.
Okay, feats.
Oh shoot, where's that?
There's actor, which honestly, actually no, actor wouldn't make sense. Durable, take a lot of hits.
Tough.
Not keen mind. We are not doing keen mind.
Skill.
Yo, we could do lucky, because then he could be like really good at getting out of these tough scrapes that most trapezes can't get out of.
Maybe. It's an option.
Or what about mobile? Nah. That really
Resilient. With dex. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
What
does skill do?
Grappler. Oh, strength 13 or higher. We don't have that.
Oh,
we could have that.
We could have that.
You've developed the skills necessary to hold your own in close quarters grappling. Gain advantage on attack rolls.
He just gets better at hugging.
He's got the arms for it.
It's true.
Durable.
Okay, I feel like we should. So let's.
Athlete.
What does athlete do? Increases strength or dexterity
by 1.
When you
to a
are
maximum
prone,
20.
standing up uses only 5 feet.
Climbing doesn't cost you extra movement.
But we already have that.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We have a climbing speed equal to walking speed.
No, we don't.
Oh, we got rid of that. That's right.
And you can make a running long jump or a running high jump after moving only 5 feet on foot rather than 10
Ooh,
feet.
okay, so
that makes sense.
So what if we upped? So what if we upped strength by 2?
By 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we
for
can get
our
a
first
14
improvement?
for our first improvement. So we get a 14.
That's improvement 1.
And then we can get athlete upping. Should we say strength or dex?
I'm tempted to say dex.
Yeah, I'd say
dex.
dex.
It fits the character.
So we'd up dex, and then you would get all those abilities, and then I think we should get grappling, or a grappler.
Because then we get grappler too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like we should maybe only go for 1 feat.
I feel like grappler would be fun though. Just saying.
I want to give him at least some bonus to charisma though, because right now he's got.
That's true.
0.
Okay, so yeah.
So let's do a +1 to charisma, and then you're running dex.
Ooh, okay, hold on. There's this one from Xanathar's Guide, where it's you have to be an elf. Stupid. Dang it! I wanted him to teleport. That would have been cool.
Should I just give another point to charisma and dexterity?
Yeah. So then his dexterity will be 18, which is pretty high, and then his charisma will be 12. Okay, I like that.
And that's a +1 to charisma. Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so those are all the ability score improvements. Okay, so let's figure out what his hit points are.
Let me get my phone. Hang on.
Okay, base. So he has 15 d8 plus 3 for hit dice.
Yep. So
and then you have to roll 14 d8s.
Roll dice. So we start with 11.
Yes.
So then I will go
roll 14 d8s.
14 d8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Ooh, there's a
14.
1 in there.
And then I'm going to go ahead and add, what's 14 times 3?
Let's see. Quick math. That's 42.
Correct. 42 plus 11 is 53. So we'll just add all that together, and then I will hit the roll, and we roll 110.
Ooh, okay, so he has
110
hit points. Dang, okay. This is why monks should... That's a lot of ones.
That sucks. That's such a bad
So
roll.
maybe in a lot of levels he just, didn't get better. He, broke one of his ankles or something. Okay, so let's see. Proficiencies.
-2 to wisdom as a monk.
It's so funny. It's
So
I don't care. It's suboptimal.
wait, his armor
That's for
class is
fun
only
gameplay.
12 then, with unarmored.
He's not really gonna get
Depends.
into many fights because he's just unless they're worth a bunch of trapeze.
I mean, well, if he's an adventurer.
Is he an adventurer? We'll come up with that in the backstory. Right now, we're still working on the character sheet. Okay, so his proficiencies. He gets no armor proficiencies.
Wait, proficiency bonus at 15th level is +4.
Let's check.
No, it's +5.
Yeah, it's +5.
Sweet.
Okay, so he gets no armor proficiencies. He gets proficiencies with simple weapons and short swords. And then any type of artisan's tools or any musical instrument of your choice. Should we call trapezes? Artisan's tools?
Hang on.
They're not. It's not in there.
I know, but I'm looking for something that might be similar.
What artisan's tools would make sense for in-depth proficiency with?
That's what I'm looking at. 49 is the page that I'm looking
Right there, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, what if he was a glass blower?
for. He's just also a glass blower.
It's like the coolest man ever.
Disguise kit. Gotta wear different costumes and stuff to be.
Disguise kit's not an artisan's tools. It's outside of it.
It's tools. Does it have
no,
to
it has to be an artisan's. It's weird.
That's lame.
Well, what else could... We can also choose a musical instrument. What's a musical instrument that you can play with one hand?
The horn?
It's true. So what if he was able to play horn?
Sure.
That'd be cool. Because
That's
then you
what
can
I'm
do it,
for.
like, on the trapeze. Alright, and then... Yeah, his saving throws are strength and dexterity. And then you get to choose 2 of these skills. Acrobatics, definitely. Athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Not insight.
Acrobatics and athletics.
Okay, that makes sense. So now his starting equipment.
Wait, let me do math.
Okay, you did math now. Good job.
Okay, we're.
Okay, so he can choose a short sword or any other simple weapon. Do we really need to worry about weapons for him? Oh wait, no, he's in an infernal carnival. We need weapons for him. Short sword makes sense. What do you think?
What are their simple weapons? Let me look at this list.
What would be a cool one, actually?
A sickle.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a sucky weapon, but it's sicko.
Pretty cool.
I like sickle.
Alright, we'll give him a sickle. So sickle isn't... We are not making an optimal character, but who cares? And then we can choose a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack.
Probably explorers.
Okay. Oh! And we also get 10 darts. Okay, what if one of his acts is, like, they have a target up, and, like, while he's swinging, blindfolded as well,
Throws the dart?
he throws a dart and gets, like, a bullseye every single time.
A dart does 1 damage, correct?
1d4. Okay, and now we get to go to all of his abilities. So he has unarmored defense. So his AC is 10 plus dexterity plus wisdom.
So it's 12. Because he has a +4 to dex and a -2 to wisdom.
Hopefully he doesn't get into many fights. He also gets martial arts. So martial arts, you can use dex instead of strength. You can roll a d4. Actually, since he's higher level, you can use...
I believe at level 15 it's a D8.
Wow.
D8 for the sickle.
Wow.
And 1d8 plus 4 for that damage.
So it went from a D4 to a D8
double.
just because he's a monk.
Monks are broken.
Monks are broken.
How many attacks does he get in 1 turn?
Let's see. So he can also take the attack action with his monk weapon, and then as a bonus action, take another attack action.
Right.
Okay, then he also gets
For
key.
martial arts.
Yeah, so now he also gets key.
He gets the chi point.
Yeah, so he gets flurry of blows, patient defense, and step of the wind. So his save DC is 8 plus 5 minus 2. So he only has an 11 for save DC.
DC equal 11.
Yeah. Okay, and then he has unarmored movement of 25 feet.
A bonus 25
Yeah!
feet? So
Holy crap!
Makes sense for the character. 55 feet of movement.
Dude, okay, he can move a lot. Now he also has deflect missiles, so if anybody throws a rotten tomato at him because his show is really bad, he can just... Yo, he can throw it back at them!
That's so sick. That's so
just
cool, actually.
Somebody throws it and then gets smacked in the face by it.
That's really cool, actually.
And then we have to choose a tradition, which we'll choose later. And then he also gets slow fall, which is good as a trapezist. So he can slow his fall as a reaction.
He's got slow fall and also manta glide. So
Bro,
he
this guy
just
ain't falling from
never
anywhere.
touches the ground.
He also gets an extra attack, so he can take 2 attacks, possibly 3. Let's see.
I believe it's only 2.
Yeah, only 2. Yep, only 2. So he can take an extra attack. Where did it go? And he also has stunning strike, so you can interfere with like the soul of an opponent. So you can, it must succeed on a Constitution or be stunned.
Yep.
This is why monks are overpowered.
Yeah, like the one time I was DMing a one shot, and Will beat my CR 20 monster as a level 9 monk.
How many turns did it take?
2. Because he stunned it both times.
Oh.
And it was stunned, so I couldn't use a legendary action.
Sucker. Okay, then he also has key empowered strikes. So yeah, he can his fists are magic.
For the purpose of overcoming resistance.
He also has evasion. So he can take a lot less damage.
He gets uncanny dodge as well?
Yeah, well that's the same thing. Evasion and uncanny dodge are the exact same thing. He has stillness of mind, so you can end one effect, that's causing you to be charmed or frightened. And then he has purity of body, so he's immune to disease and poison. Holy crap!
We're getting pretty close to the end of the list here.
Yeah,
right?
and then he has tongue of the sun and moon. He can understand any language. He can speak all languages. That does make sense. And he also has diamond soul.
I believe that's the last one.
You can re-roll. No, he also has timeless body. Oh. So you can re-roll saving throws if you spend a chi point. And then he has timeless body, so he doesn't age.
Still dies of old age.
But
his body and mind don't age.
Yeah. Which is good for a trapeze artist, because then he never looks older.
15.
Now many issues of monastic tradition. Oh, I know. Drunken Master. He gets drunk before every single show. And that's why his trapezing acts are so famous. Correct. What did you just...
I dropped my phone.
Smooth.
Maybe, or... Hear me out. Crazy idea.
I'm listening.
Shadow. And as an act, he moves from the shadows to appear all over the performance area. He'll swing off one trapeze into a shadow and appear going like a completely other direction.
That's cool, actually. I like that.
I like Shadow.
Alright, so Way of Shadow from monastic tradition. So he also has Shadow Step, so he can step from one shadow into another. When in dim light or darkness, you can teleport up to 60 feet. Dang. And then he also has Cloak of Shadows, so when you're in an area of dim light, you become invisible. Wow. He can give sneak attack hugs. With his extra grappling arms.
That's what I'm telling you, we should have multi-class into Rogue. Sneak attack hugs.
Sneak attack hugs.
Is that everything from Shadow?
That is all of the monk. So that is the entire character sheet. Whoa, do we want to give him magic items?
Yes.
Okay, let's find. We have to find a magic item now. So what would be a magic item that would make sense for a trapeze artist? There are no magic trapezes in items.
No! Who would have ever guessed that there were no magic trapezes?
Okay, let's check out some wondrous items. What if we just gave him an apparatus of Qualish?
Sorry, what?
What if we just gave him an apparatus of Qualish?
What does that do?
It's a massive crab.
He already is a crab.
No, we give him tentacles. He's a squid. Jack Sparrow. Sorry.
You're not funny.
I'm hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about. Ooh, boots of levitation. They are. Oh shoot! I just hit the mic. I just punched. Combined with his nature ray thing.
He would never touch the ground. He also has slow fall.
I'm saying for his trapeze act. I'm saying for his trapeze act.
He doesn't need him. He's got Manta Glide and slow fall.
Fair. Ooh. No, he already has that for shadows. I was gonna say Cape of the Mountebank, but
this is the least optimal.
Who cares? It's fun.
Ever. Nobody builds a monk and make it suboptimal.
That's fair, but we just did. So
playing a monk is already min-maxing.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you go for Monk of the Sun.
Ooh, what if you give him a deck of illusions?
Hmm.
So the deck of illusions, it's just a deck of cards, and you draw a card, and depending on what card it is, it creates an illusion of a creature. So, like for example, the Queen of Diamonds creates an illusion of a Night Hag, or the Jack of Spades creates an illusion of a veteran. So how could he use it? How would he use that in his axe?
He throws a card, and then something would appear.
Really?
And then it'll do a trick, and then it'll go away. Easy.
Okay, so that's one possibility. Oh, we need to come up with his background.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
If you were doing entertainer, right? Oh wait, no. We need to go to
folk hero.
No. Hold on. We need to go to the backgrounds from Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Let's see if I can find it.
Okay. We could do entertainer. There's a great.
Oh, it's Rakdos. That's right. So Rakdos Cultist. You're an entertainer at heart, perform with a flair for the dramatic and a love the spotlight. You're also a member of a cult devoted to an ancient demon who delights in violence and chaos.
I'm gonna guess it.
Sneak attack hugs. RAKDOS.
DOS. Okay, what equipment and proficiencies?
So he gets proficiencies in acrobatics and performance. So he can choose
performance.
So here's one fun thing: if you already have proficiency and something gives you that same proficiency, you can choose whichever one you want.
Yay!
So what should we give him? Well, we need him to give sneak attack hugs. So put it in stealth.
Stealth.
Yeah.
Great, he's got a +- stealth.
He also has a proficiency with another type of musical instrument.
Horn 2.0.
Okay, he just created his own horn, and he calls it the Horn 2.0.
He's not very creative.
It's true.
He or she?
Non-binary.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like he would be. Yeah, they. Now we get to choose either Abyssal or Giant. I like Abyssal.
It doesn't really matter. He can already understand and speak all
That's
languages.
true. We don't need to choose that. He can understand everything. And equipment, he has a Rakdos insignia, and then a musical instrument of your choice, Horn 2.0. I've got it. The horn was originally just like a bugle, so it's just the tube.
He put valves.
He put a single valve.
One
valve.
So now he can play fifths.
Yep.
Well, thirds.
No, we'll say fifths. He tubed it so that he can play fifths.
Partials are already fifths.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
That's true. He can play.
They're thirds.
He can play extra notes.
He can play like something.
He also has a costume.
He can play the major pentatonics.
So he also has a costume, and then he has.
Does he get proficiency with disguise kits?
No. He also has a hooded lantern made of iron, a 10-foot length of chain with sharply spiked links.
Hooded iron lantern.
Yeah. And then a 10-foot long chain.
10-foot chain.
And then a tinderbox and 10 torches. He has a lot of fire stuff. And then he has clothes. And then 10 gold pieces. Here's the best part of this. And a bottle of sweet red juice. It's not wine. It's not ale. It's sweet red juice.
Red juice.
Then his feature is fearsome reputation. So people recognize you as a member of the cult of Rakdos, and they're careful not to draw your anger. That's lame. I don't want to give him that. Because that one's like, I'm scary. What's the one from Entertainer?
By popular demand, you can always find a place to perform.
Yeah,
usually
do that.
in an inn or tavern, but possibly with a circus at a theater or even in a noble's court.
So give him by popular demand.
Or raise the idea.
What?
Where's F? Folk hero.
He is not. No, he looks like demonic. He's not hospitable.
Or we give it the. No, that actually doesn't change anything, does it?
The what?
Gladiator.
No. I say just give him by popular demand.
Okay.
And people can interpret that however they want. Alright, so that's the background. Or, yeah.
Just give him the freaking Sailor one.
The what?
The one from Sailor?
The feature?
Ship's Passage, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Bad reputation.
That's literally just what the Rakdos one is.
I know.
So are we still wanting to give him a magic item?
Maybe.
There's just so
I
many.
gave him the deck of illusions.
You gave him a deck of illusions? Alright, we'll say that's good enough.
Okay.
Okay, now we need to come up with a back. Oh, we need to come up with a name.
The name is the hardest part.
Shoot. Okay, what was he originally before he became a Simic hybrid?
Would have been a tiefling, right?
Tiefling? Okay.
Let's call him Thanatos.
I like that name.
The Greek god of death.
Thanatos. Should we just do one name? Oh, that could be the name that he got when he entered the.
Thanatos Brigsby.
But he could just have been given like a single name, like the Trapezus Thanatos, when he entered.
I like that.
The Rakdos cultist.
But his real name is Brigsby.
yeah. He had human parents. They named him horribly. Brigsby. Alright, we gotta come up with the backstory for this guy. Alright.
Brigsby is more of a halfling name, but okay.
That's fine. So, what was his family life like?
Pretty good.
Was he, should we say he was like raised by humans?
Okay, so think, he's a tiefling.
He's a tiefling.
So, I'm thinking...
So demon spawn.
No. I'm thinking he was raised by humans.
Okay.
But...
Were they kind?
Yeah, they were great people.
Okay.
His family was like ideal family situation. But here's the thing. When he turned a certain age, his body started going through some changes, and then he started growing horns and a tail.
Yeah.
And his skin started changing color. And what color is he?
We'll come up with that later.
And realized very quickly that
he is not a human.
That's not my real dad.
Ooh.
And you have been lying to me my whole life.
Okay. Kind of a dark twist, but kind of plays into Rakdos cultist.
Exactly.
No. I'm saying
and
like what?
Simic hybrid
Listen
thing.
to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Listen to this. What if he was like always fascinated by like daredevil stunts?
Sure.
It's like things that had to do with like flames, and then, but he was like especially like impressed with like acrobatics.
Right.
So what if?
Should I be writing this down?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
so what if we? I don't know. Maybe as a child he was like fascinated with those things, so he always got into trouble because he would be playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he found out that his parents had been lying,
he burned the house down.
He burnt the house down and kept them in there.
That's so good. I love that.
So he murdered his own family, and then left to do what?
Become a trapeze artist.
Did he start off on his own and then find his way to Rakdos?
I feel like he left in search of family. Because he felt like he didn't have any. And then he starts doing maybe some like gymnastics style thing.
He found a knack in it.
He finds family with the Rakdos skills.
Ooh, so what if along with like the entertainer part of his background, not only did he do like trapeze stuff and like acrobatics, but since he was so fascinated with like flames and stuff because of his infernal heritage, he like became like a fire eater as well. And that's why he has such a high constitution, because he's burnt himself so many times.
That makes sense.
Essentially immune
and why his wisdom is so low.
Exactly.
Because he's eating fire.
So this guy is like a acrobatic fire eater with a deck of illusions.
I love it.
Where did he get the deck of illusions? Was it like a welcoming gift from the Rakdos cultist?
Probably.
Okay.
Or even better, a gift of like a reward for something.
Yeah. Ooh,
he put on a really dang good show for a long time. And so they're like, you know what, you're like one of our top members.
So Rakdos cultists, not only do they put on shows, but they also like are a cult. So what if he used... Okay, I've got this.
He used his trapeze...
Listen to this. So he
ensnared people in the cult.
Oh my gosh. So he originally started English off as just like a normal trapeze / fire eater.
Right.
And he found that the Rakdos cult, which he didn't realize was a cult at that time, was like perfect for that.
Yeah.
And they slowly introduced him to these
And they
things.
indoctrinated him.
And they indoctrinated him, and then he did like the first job, and it was like incredible because it was like one of those like super intense. You know what? What if he had to break into somewhere, and the people didn't really care what collateral damage he did? So what if he just burnt that place down? So he like jumps onto the roof, climbs in, and then just it just like flares up, and he just walks out. Doesn't even look back.
That would be That's exactly.
Okay, does he have any like insignia of the Rakdos cultist, or did he refuse to get any?
I like to think he's got many tattoos.
Tattoos? Alright.
So he's probably got
I think he's got a massive Rakdos one just like on the middle of his back. Like this huge thing.
Nah, he's not that tacky. He's got a decent sized one on his pec.
On his pack. That's so much better than the middle back.
Yeah.
Alright.
Right over where his heart would be if he wasn't part demon.
It's fair. Demons are hearts.
I know.
You can rip out the heart of a demon.
He's making a... Never mind. Do they actually have 7 hearts? Never mind.
That's an octopus, buddy. So he was indoctrinated, and then he got the Deck of Illusions because he did that job so well.
Maybe he... Never mind. I was like, maybe he took it from
and then didn't tell them?
Yeah.
But they would have found it because he uses it in his shows.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he took it, and they were like, that's such a minor thing that we really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, he did such a good job burning that building to the ground and getting us what we wanted. We'll let him keep it.
Oh, what if he played... Have you read The Elemental Evil? Princes of Apocalypse. So
Not Princes of Apocalypse.
It's a campaign based around like a bunch of elementals rising up to destroy the world. What if this is like staged right after that? So he was one of the spawns of the fire elementals, and that's why he has such control over it. But he doesn't realize that, and neither does anybody else.
And he's also at this point, because he's now a Simic hybrid, he's lost a lot of that ability.
Yeah, but he still has like the ability to be able to do the fire eating.
Yeah.
He just can't like manipulate fire as he was able to before.
He can no longer cast Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah.
As a 2nd level spell. Once per day.
Darn tieflings. So we've come up with a good background for him. What are some personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws? So personality traits, I feel like he has to be very self-centered.
Very self-centered.
Like, he's self-centered to a fault. Like, he will not accept that he's wrong in any circumstance. Even if he did, like, a... Oh my gosh, I can just imagine, like, a scenario of him screwing up one of the cultist jobs, like, so horribly that they're, like, considering, like, murdering him.
It wasn't me.
And he's like, it wasn't me, it was their fault. It was their fault. And he had no one else there with him. And there's, like, one more tie... So he's, like, living on the edge, almost.
I think he should be... Should we come up with an alignment for him? Chaotic. Neutral. He's not necessarily evil. I don't think he's evil.
Close. He's very chaotic, that's for sure.
We'll write chaotic. That's good enough.
Yeah, just chaotic. I don't even care what good or neutral is. He's on a spectrum. So his personality trait is very self-centered, like super. The most self-centered person you've ever met times 10. What's an ideal? What is something that he lives by?
Family.
And that's what he's built with the cult. I like that. Family, whether...
But at the same time,
biological...
He's very slow to trust. Is that a flaw?
Yeah.
Slow to trust.
Slow to trust. And that comes from, like, his backstory of his parents being jerkheads.
He has a bond with his childhood best friend.
Ooh! What if his childhood best friend, like, helped him get indoctrinated into the Rakdos cultist?
His childhood best friend is actually
his
stepbrother. Because think about it. His childhood best friend, they went through the same thing at the same time because his childhood best friend was also a tiefling, offspring of the fire elemental.
Oh, okay. What if his friend like is a full blown fire eater? Like that's his entire thing, and he's massive control over all of it. So like these two together make like one of the coolest shows you've ever seen.
What if his parents were dragonborn?
Ooh,
they were like black. Well, not black, like red dragon.
Yeah, I think that. Are you saying that? Are you saying Thanatos is? Or?
No, not Thanatos. His friend.
His friend. Yeah. We need to come up with a name for his friend.
I'm thinking.
What's a good name for a fire breather?
Should I stick with Greek mythology? We can call him Hephaestus.
What's Hephaestus the god of?
Smithing, blacksmithing, and also volcanoes.
Mm.
We can call him Vulcan, which is the Roman name for
I like Vulcan, actually. Vulcan the fire eater. Ooh, that actually has a nice ring to it. So Vulcan was like an offspring of
a red dragonborn.
A red dragonborn.
And the fire elemental.
And the fire elemental. And how did Thanatos? Where did Thanatos come from? What was his other? So he was part of the fire elemental. What was one of the other cultists? Orc.
Orc?
I like orc.
His parents were orc, or
one of his parents was an orc.
His mom or his dad?
So it's a fire elemental. A fire elemental.
Okay, the one that.
Do we want them to have two
with
parents?
The fire elemental, or the one that didn't?
Do we want them to have parents, or do we want it just to be like they were literally just reincarnations of the power of the fire elementals from Elemental Evil?
They should have parents.
Okay. Ooh, what if it's kind of like a draconic bloodline sort of thing, where it like carries down through the line? So like their original family was like
reincarnated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just carries down throughout. What if we just never know Thanatos' parents?
I want to know his parents. I think that's a very crucial part of his backstory.
But he doesn't know it.
That his parents lied to him the whole time. His parents lied to him the whole time.
Yeah, but he doesn't know his real parents.
His foster parents.
Yeah, but he doesn't know his real parents.
Okay.
So were his foster parents like just two kind-hearted humans?
They were the most unlikely of parents.
That sounds like the start of a storybook.
And an elf and a dwarf.
Oh my gosh, it's just Legolas and Gimli. Sorry.
No, I actually don't like that.
We should pull. Well, since this is kind of in the world of Ravnica, we could pull in Vidalcan.
We could. Maybe his parents were both centaurs. No.
And he's like, something's off here.
No.
What if one of them was a Loxodon, the other one was a Vidalcan? So when he went through these changes of like having like the tail and the horn, it was originally he was like, oh, it comes from their parent, like my parentage being all weird and mixed up.
Interesting.
And then eventually it turned into being like, this is not anything with what you've done.
Yeah.
What if he's blue skinned? With going with his Vidalcans, because they're all blue skinned. So what if like purple, like a reddish purple tint? And he's got like an elephantine tail.
Or like a deep, like midnight blue. Ooh. That almost looks purple.
I like that. That's cool. Okay, so his skin color is like a midnight blue. Should we give him like an elephant-like tail because of the Loxodon parentage?
Give him a trunk.
A trunk?
No, we can't give him a trunk. Ooh, what if his Simic arms look like elephant trunks?
So instead of having two tentacles, they're just two elephants. Oh my gosh.
But they're like technically tentacles. That's such a stupid idea.
That is interesting.
But I kind of love it.
Okay.
We don't have to do
Interesting. That's weird. That could be why he was like indoctrinated into the... Like, originally in there, because they're like, you're weird. We like you. Come help us.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Okay.
Elephant trunks for
tentacles.
How tall would he be?
He's a trapeze artist.
I like. He's probably like 24, right?
Yeah.
Years old. 24?
Young, but old enough to like understand what he's doing. I'd say like.
Can he have these bright emerald green eyes?
Oh, I like that. And actually, that could come from Loxodon.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, how tall?
8'3".
That is huge.
No. Because trapeze artists are typically shorter.
Yeah. So what if you did like 5'10"?
But his dad is
5'11".
His parent is still an elephant.
But Vidalcans are also like super dang short. So.
But was he the offspring of those two, or one of them and the fire elemental?
What if he was just abandoned? Making kind of edgy. Well, do we want one of those two to be one of the people that came down from, like, the elemental lineage?
I think it makes sense for the Vidalcan to have come from the lineage, and then when he made a child with the Loxodon, the recessive genes from the fire elemental
Passed through.
came down.
Yeah.
So he's like a Loxodon tiefling.
Okay.
So instead of horns, he's got tusks.
Interesting. I like that, actually. Okay, so is he, like, freakishly tall for a trapezist artist? I'd say, like, 6'5".
I'm
6'6". That's pretty tall.
Maybe even like 6'2".
Alright, I like 6'2".
What's the average height for like a Loxodon?
Like 7 feet. Like, really tall.
Okay.
So yeah, 6'2". I like 6'2".
I'm thinking 6'2".
That's his hair. Oh no, that's his height. Whoops. What hair color?
Ooh.
Just give him like a wavy, bright red hair.
I was sort of thinking that
a very like stark difference.
I was almost thinking that too.
But what if he started off with black hair, but then when he became the trapeze artist, he decided to dye it like super bright red to kind of add to his.
I don't know if I like that.
This is a man that like lives for the performance.
I know.
So I don't know.
But I don't feel like he would dye his hair that color. I am embodying this character. Okay. I'm thinking not a bright red, but like a dark maroon color.
I like that. It's still like a very stark difference from his blue skin.
Still be a stark difference from the blue skin, but it's not necessarily like as flashy and noticeable and tacky.
I like that. And then he's also like super light because he's a trapeze artist.
Despite being part Loxodon.
I'd say 130.
He's only...
Or 150.
I'm 150.
Yeah. He also could like work really hard to keep his weight super low.
Maybe 170.
Yeah, 170.
Because he's also very muscular.
Yeah.
Being a trapeze artist.
Alright, well that's the character. Alright, let's go over this thing.
Is that it? Okay.
Let's check this out. Okay, so Thanatos, or Brigsby. He's Thanatos, the trapeze artist. He's a level 15 monk Simic hybrid with the Rakdos cultist background and a chaotic alignment. He has proficiency in strength and dexterity saving throws, and then in acrobatics, athletics, performance, and stealth, with a bunch of actually kind of optimal, but also a 7 and wisdom, so kind of suboptimal. He has a speed of 55 because of his unarmored movement, and has hit points of 110, which is incredible. So because of his Simic hybrid race, he has fused himself with extra arms.
That look like elephant
trunks because of his Loxodon parentage. So he has the ability to grapple people with those, which also means, combined with his stealth, sneak attack hugs. And then he also has a Manta Glide, and he also has Slow Fall, so that really helps him during trapezes. Yeah. So, with his trapezing, he's like very skilled at it, and he lives for the show. He also has the ability to teleport in shadow, so maybe whenever he performs, he has like a kind of a little bit of a darker.
Well, yeah,
stage.
It's just like lights down at the bottom and then
like
up in the top of.
Shadows,
I like to imagine he's performing in this large tent.
Yeah,
this large dark purple and red tent.
So up in the top, it's like a bunch of shadows.
Like,
he'll like float up
literally
there.
the Grim Troop tent. That's what it is.
Yeah. He knows. Well, originally he speaks Vidalcan, but he knows all languages because of Monk. He is 6'2", 24, and 170 pounds, with emerald green eyes, midnight blue, like nearly purple skin, and dark maroon hair. His background, well, he has two kind parents, a Loxodon and a Vidalcan. The Vidalcan originated from the Elemental Evil campaign sourcebook, where the elementals lost. Fire. So the element of fire moved down through his lineage and ended up in Thanatos. And along with his best friend, what did we name? Vulcan, which is his bond. And then he didn't realize he looks like a tiefling. Despite his simic hybrid race that he's gone through, he looks like a tiefling. That was his original race. So after a while, he started getting these new appearances that were not from either of his parents. He got mad at them for lying to him, and being a sadistic little piece of crap he burned them to death in his house. Then he left in search of another family and found the Rakdos cultists, which he did not know was a cult yet, and joined them for an entertainer group because he was fascinated with fire breathing and
then,
with
over time,
entertaining
he
tropes.
Was
and then he was
indoctrinated
into the cult,
and he did a bunch of stuff for him,
including a deck of illusions.
He got a deck of illusions from one of the jobs.
He is a very self-centered guy, especially like very much to a fault. But he's also slow to trust because of his backstory with his parents lying to him. His only bond is to his best friend that's been with him, Vulcan, who's also the one that helped introduce him to the Rakdos cultists.
And helped burn his house down.
Yes.
They kind of burned their houses down together.
Yeah. Vulcan is kind of like a master fire eater, so that maybe they do their shows together, where maybe, actually, what if they don't even light up the tent they're in? And Vulcan just creates the lighting.
Vulcan.
Yeah, that's cool.
Using thaumaturgy.
Yeah, and his only... Yeah, and then Thanatos' only ideal is family, whether it be biological or whether it be founded.
Yep.
So that's Thanatos. That's actually a fun character.
That's actually
I want to play this.
I want to play him too.
Alright, well, I guess we'll go back to the outro. Thanks for listening to all of our character shenanigans.
Lots of fun.
Hey, that's the second episode. Do you realize that?
No.
That's 2 hours full of footage of us just talking.
It's an hour and a half.
Well, no. Or I guess it's 3 because we also have last episode.
Yeah.
Dang, that's impressive.
3 hours of us.
It's impressive.
Being dumb.
Wow. Well, not dumb, because dumb, like we witnessed in the intro, dumb means you can't talk.
Stupid.
Well, also, oh, great, we have to rename it now.
Too stupid.
It doesn't have the same ring to it. Well, anyways, thanks for listening. We actually have social media now, so we have Twitter and Instagram. So the Twitter is at 2dumbdms, capital D on dumb. And then, where's the Twitter at, Jaden?
The Instagram?
Or,
it's
yeah, sorry.
At 2dumbdms.
Nice.
That's the same.
And we'll be on Spotify, and we're also on Apple Podcasts. And we're also on YouTube. And then hopefully we'll be able to get on Google Podcasts soon, for all you people that use Google. Please share this with a bunch of your friends that play D&D, or are interested in D&D.
Or that don't even care about D&D.
Or that don't even care about D&D, just want to listen to us being dumb for an hour and a half. This is actually a pretty good episode. I like this one. Make sure to leave a review. We need as much as we can get.
We need reviews.
We want them.
You can't review on Spotify, but leave us a like on YouTube.
Yes.
Rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
If you actually... Okay, this is going to be hard to say, but if you feel like we did something wrong, then leave us a review, or email us at 2dumbdms@gmail.com. Let us know if you have any ideas of what you want to see in future episodes. Go ahead and email those to us too.
Comments.
Yeah,
as well.
We are open to everything. We want to make this fun. All right, that's all I got. You got anything else, buddy?
Don't call me buddy.
Dang. Okay. All right. Well. All right. The second episode.
There we go. Episode number 2.
Thanks for listening.
That's a wrap.
See you on the next one. Bye. You can't really make a character sheet without understanding, how your belly drums are showing up on my... You could be marching band with those. Just join the snare line.